I'd like to welcome everyone here today to our session on leadership and mentoring. In today's session, we're going to cover why it is important as leaders to actively mentor members of your staff. Before I get started, from the leadership that's present here today, by a show of hands, how many of the leaders that are present here today are actively mentoring at least one staff member? Okay, see a few hands there. Now, in today's training session, the takeaways that you're going to leave here today with is why mentorship as a leader is important, why it's pivotal to the growth of your business and your business model, how it will allow you to actively engage your staff and engaging them get vital feedback from them that pertains to your business model, as well as you'll notice some dynamic results that will take place as a result of you mentoring them. We'll also have some resources that are available for purchase after, that if you really want to see dynamic change in your organization within 90 days, it will pick up from where we have left off here today. But before I go into that, I'd ask for a show of hands, who actually mentors a staff member here. And before I get into the why it is important, from the lady over there that did mention that she mentors her staff, I would like to ask, why did you choose to mentor one of your staff members? Or maybe you're mentoring quite a few, but why was it important? Why did you elect to now take this person under your wing and mentor them?
In my case specifically was that I needed to delegate. I needed somebody to know what I do to assist me.
Okay. And you see, and that's where leaders kind of miss the mark here in the mentorship process here, because that's in essence what you are doing when you mentor someone. You are raising someone up. You are training them to do the job that you do as well. You're giving them that responsibility, and in that responsibility, you're leaving room for feedback from that employee. And now where you're doing the work of one, you are now raising up people to do the work that you're doing multiplied by 2 or 3 or 4 or however many employees that you mentor. And what you are also doing is you're continuing a cycle where that employee that you've mentored now is in a position to mentor another employee. Now, I always like to use the example of a family business. Let's say it's a bakery, and dad is in the back baking, mom is up front taking orders, sons or daughters are putting out the products on the shelves or preparing them for delivery. But within that smaller model, what's taking place is the parents are mentoring. They're training their children to assume a role that they one day hope to pass on to them. And as leadership on a larger scale here, that's what we're doing. In that mentorship process, we're recognizing skill sets that our employees bring to our organization. Without that mentoring relationship, you would not have discovered if John is good at graphic design, if Susan is good at accounting. Those are things that get discovered in mentorship, and you're allowing to cultivate in that mentorship that relationship. Going back to that family business, the parents, the mother and father, don't want to continue this business into their retirement. They're hoping to pass it on so they could go off to Florida and retire one day and sit on the beach and enjoy life. So they have to train their replacement. And a lot of the times as leadership, we go in the mindset that, our role is forever. And there's some place we need to move on to as well. But we can't move on until we've postured someone to fill that role. Now, corporate America here, like I mentioned, you as leaders each person in this room has the ability to share with your employees your talents as well. Because the mentorship relationship is a two-way street. Not only are you learning from your employees what their gifts are, but they're learning something equally valuable. They're learning from the best of the best, which is sitting here in this room. They are learning from all of your years of wisdom in business. They are learning from you. They're learning things that they could never have learned in the classroom. They're learning things that they could never have learned in reading a book. It's real life experience. Now, the question is, how does that affect overall production in your business, which is the bottom line of your business is production, is efficiency, is generating revenue. And for companies that have implemented this business model in their business, they have weathered our recession times. They've created profits during a time where people were closing their doors. And that's because they're actively engaging their employees through mentorship. Statistically, it reveals that an actively engaged employee will have better attendance rates than someone who's not actively engaged. They will produce more than an employee that is not actively engaged. They will offer business ideas to your business model because they're actively engaged. In essence, they take ownership of their role within the company, and they feel that they're part of something larger, something bigger, and they want to contribute to that. And that is what increases your profitability within your business. You have employees now on the flip side that are not actively engaged. No one asks an opinion, no one shows an interest in their career, and because no one is showing an interest in them, they're not showing an interest in you. So that's what we're here to change today, is the dynamics of that relationship, so that we can increase profitability, produce more, and actively engage our employees. And at this point, does anyone have any questions? Mm-hmm. Okay. Feel free to stop me at any time if you do. Now, if you look in your handouts there, we give an illustration of a typical office setting. We have on page 4, everyone there? Okay, great. On page 4, we give an illustration of a team of 20 employees working on a project. Okay, thank you. Page 4, you give a team of 20 employees working on a project. And this could be anything depending on your business model. Now, as a leader, your most valuable resources are your employees. So how do you get value from those employees? You know, you could sit in a conference room similar to this and ask, okay, someone give me an idea of how we could take this product off the ground. And what you'll hear? Crickets. People sit there, they look at the wall, they look at the sky, totally disengaged. But if you were to, prior to that meeting, walk over and say, John, we're having a meeting today at 2 o'clock. I really would appreciate any feedback you have on the project that we're going to be talking about today at today's meeting. You know, I really value your input. So take a look over the proposal for this project and let me know what you think during the meeting. Susan, you got the memo for the meeting today. The project idea, the plan there, if you could review it over, tell me what you think. I would like to hear what your thoughts are during the meeting. I really would appreciate your feedback. And you do that with your employees. So once they enter into the room, they've been given an opportunity to say, well, okay, you know, Donna really is expecting me to perform today. She really is placing some value in what I have to think and what I have to say. So I'm going to put some thought into this project so that this project is a success. You see what I just did? Mm-hmm. I engaged them before the meeting. I didn't wait till the meeting to try and engage them. I laid the groundwork before the meeting. So at the meeting now, we're sitting there and I tell them, okay, let's open up the proposal. I'm sure you've had a chance to review it. Tell me, what do you think? Now, all of a sudden you have, a dozen employees with hands in the air willing to offer you up an opinion or a thought or a concept. And in doing so, you acknowledge that thought, that concept, that idea that's given. Whether you think it's a great idea or not, but acknowledgement of the idea, that's what mentorship is involving as well, is that your employees want to be acknowledged as well for the work that they're doing. And the more you acknowledge them, the more results you'll see from them. So, another idea. Now, we do also have a business training model that kind of takes this off until the next level as far as engagement of employees. And that's the product I was talking about, of turning your business around within 90 days. It's a step-by-step program product that, clearly outlines steps and training for your staff to really actively engage them. So, but before we go on that, we're going to take a quick 2-second break and we'll pick up with any questions and we'll resume our program.